Jamaica has comfortably met its International Monetary Fund IMF target for its net international reserves at $1.4 billion, recording $2.3 billion in the first quarter of the year, which ended March. The figures were released at an EPOC press briefing on Tuesday by co-chairman of EPOC, Richard Biles. Mr. Biles says while the NIR performed incredibly well for the second consecutive month, the country missed its target for the primary balance.
The primary balance, we registered $117.2 billion, which is short of the target of $121.3 billion. So we fell behind on this target by $4.1 billion. You may recall that at last month's briefing, when we were talking about February, we were also behind the government's budget by $4.6 billion. So from February, we saw us falling behind the target, and March, which is the critical last month and the month by which we are measured, they made a superhuman effort and collected 98% of all taxes, $52.2 billion out of $53.3. But that was not enough. And the usual taxes that have lagged budget for the whole year ended up by doing the same thing. Company tax was behind by $8.7 billion, and GCT on local purchases was behind by $7 billion.
Mr. Biles adds that since December 2014, the drawdown of grants has been behind budget, and it ended the quarter in the same manner, behind budget by $3.6 billion. The EPOC co-chairman sought to explain why the country has failed to meet its primary balance.
I think there are no doubt management reasons. Inadequacy in management is some of the reasons why we haven't met this primary balance. Non-compliance, I'm sure everybody would admit in the Ministry of Finance and in the Tax Administration division that non-compliance continues to be a challenge for us, and that we probably have not met the targets that we set ourselves in terms of compliance. Secondly, I think there was an element of aggressive budgeting, perhaps in respect to the corporate taxes, perhaps because it's the first full year of the new corporate tax regime, and so some amount of guesstimating had to be done rather than scientifically estimated based on previous experience. And I think thirdly, there were some new taxes that were announced in the budget but got implemented late.
The EPOC presentation comes as a team from the International Monetary Fund is in the island conducting its 8th review of the country's economic program.